Hey guys, in today's lesson, what we're going to be going over is the basics of pistol shooting. Now, before we get into our classroom, there's a couple of assumptions that we need to keep in mind. First and foremost, before we get into any hands-on experience with firearms and training, we need to make sure that ammunition is completely out of the room. There can be no live ammunition anywhere in the room. And the reason for that is because we want to make sure that we don't have any sort of potential accident. What we use in the class exclusively are called snap caps. Now, a snap cap is a dummy round that has a rubber primer that allows you to dry fire that gun as often as you'd like without damaging your firing pin. You never want to dry fire a gun without one of these in it typically because you may end up getting that firing pin bent, warped, cracked, or broken. You want to make sure that firing pin is in tip-top shape if you ever need to use it. So I highly suggest you grab a pack of snap caps for whatever gun caliber you own. There should be a link below this video that allows you to order it directly to your home in the easiest and most affordable way possible. Now, when we're sitting here in the classroom, we've got a couple of fundamental rules that we want to follow, and I want to show you a general layout of the classroom as well. What you're going to see behind me is a little bit of light, and it's kind of weird in the video, but it really helps when I'm actually showing the guns. What I'll do is I'll switch to this camera here, which will be able to zoom in on that gun and you'll get a lot better viewing. So it's a little bit weird that we've got this bright light behind us, but it does really serve a purpose. The second thing I want you to be aware of is that when I took my concealed carry class years ago, my instructor was really crazy. And one of the crazy things that he said is that if you always keep that gun pointed in a 180-degree direction in front of you, it's in a safe direction. Right, well that doesn't really work for me because if I'm at the range and the guy right next to me is right up against the table and I'm about 6 inches behind the table, he's now in my 180-degree safe direction. What I have used extensively and what I use for the last 6 years with my 30,000 students is what I call the quarter-inch safe direction. What I mean by that is anytime you pick up a gun, I want you to imagine a laser coming out of that muzzle. And that laser needs to be in a quarter-inch square box in front of you at all times, which means you have no margin of error to move the gun left, right, up, or down at all. You're keeping the gun level, keeping it straight, pointed exactly straight forward with your finger off the trigger at all times. Now, we've come up with these quarter-inch square targets, and this is what I suggest you do at home, is to actually create a piece of paper with a box in front of it, and that box needs to be your the place that you point the gun. In our case, we use these ISIS flag targets just to kind of be funny, but we highly suggest that you actually take a piece of paper, put a box on it, and put it on the front of your room that you're loading and unloading, because that way you can keep that muzzle straight. Guys, I'm here to tell you that if there's one thing that you can pull out of this video, it's to keep your muzzle pointed in a safe direction. I am designing this entire program to really get you obsessed with where that muzzle's pointed so that you never have an issue where that gun is pointed at somebody or something that you can't blow up. The last thing I want you to do is be like that father that was taking apart his gun and cleaning it. His 9-year-old daughter walks in the room and he pulls the trigger while he's cleaning the gun and accidentally shoots her. If he had just kept that gun pointed in a safe direction, that could never have possibly happened. So guys, make sure that when you're in this training environment and you're learning on these guns for the first time, that you really do put a piece of paper on the wall with a box in it and you keep that muzzle pointed exactly straight.